I've been following the BMW i8 story for quite some time, having first seen the concept in Germany back in 2011. A few years later I got to drive the production model and I was really impressed with its futuristic design and performance. Fast forward to today and BMW has not only made the i8 a little more powerful, it's also given us this new Roadster variant. Let's take a look at what makes this high-tech hybrid so interesting. Yes, the BMW i8 is a plug-in hybrid, meaning I essentially have two powertrains in one vehicle. Behind me is a 1.5-litre turbocharged gasoline engine rated for 228 horsepower. It powers the rear wheels. Up front is a 141 horsepower electric motor driving the front wheels. Now, either one of those power sources can drive the car on its own, or they can work together to give me a combined 369 horsepower. Of course, the optimum way to use the i8 is to regularly charge up its lithium-ion battery, which takes about 3 hours with a level 2 charger. The EPA says you'll get 17 miles of all-electric motoring per charge. Push the Max eDrive button and you can drive up to 75 miles per hour on battery power alone. The i8 is as silent and smooth as any other electric car. You can slink around town using no gasoline at all, yet you still get wild supercar looks like this. It's brilliant. When the lithium-ion battery is depleted, or when you choose the Auto eDrive driving mode, the computer decides for itself when to use the gas engine or the electric motor. Now, to be honest, the 3-cylinder gas engine doesn't sound all that great, and sometimes there's a bit of a jolt when it kicks in at city speeds. But the upshot to having it is that you can drive for longer distances even if you're not able to plug in and recharge the battery pack. But the best way to drive this car is by knocking the shifter over into sport mode. Then the computer keeps the engine and the motor working together at all times to give you maximum performance. That means 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds and a top speed of 155 miles an hour. In a hybrid, sport mode also stiffens up the suspension dampers and gives me a sportier engine note, although most of that engine sound comes through the speakers. It all makes the i8 genuinely fun to drive and exciting. Quick steering and the low seating position make it feel genuinely supercar-like. Now, in the grand scheme of things, by today's standards, 369 horsepower isn't all that much, but with 420 pound-feet of torque, this car has a lot of punch when you step on it. It's not often I have a smile on my face while driving a hybrid, but the i8 is different. The differentness begins with its construction. Like the coupe, the i8 Roadster has a carbon fiber reinforced plastic tub and aluminum subframes at either end for the suspension and powertrain. That carbon construction goes a long way to enabling the outlandish styling. I mean, this car looks remarkably similar to the concept from 7 years ago. It's wide and low and shaped to bend the wind to its will. You've got channels behind me that scoop the air through the bodywork, as well as all sorts of hidden vents and air guides underneath to give it that ultra-low 0.28 drag coefficient. And as if the bodywork doesn't give you enough drama on its own, the doors open like this. The other week I was driving a bright orange McLaren. I'm very spoiled, I know. But the thing is, more people have come up to me asking me about the i8, taking photos of it, pointing and staring at it, than the McLaren. Even though the i8 Coupe's design has been around for a couple of years at this point, I think this car still looks like it's from several years in the future. Now, compared to the Coupe, the i8 Roadster is about 132 pounds heavier. This powered soft top can be raised or lowered with just the touch of a button in 16 seconds. The i8 Coupe has some back seats, but they're so tiny and useless that I don't really mind that in the Roadster they've been deleted. Instead, I get a little bit of storage space behind these seats, although emphasis on little because there's only 3.5 cubic feet back there. The actual trunk only adds another 4.7 cubic feet of space, so it's safe to say this is probably not the car that you're going to take to Costco. That said, I do think there's an argument that the i8 makes a lot of sense for everyday running around. If you have a traditional supercar and you use it to drive short distances in the city, you're going to get terrible fuel mileage. But in the i8, you might not use any gas at all. And in fact, even when the battery is depleted and you're driving it like a regular hybrid, the EPA says that you can expect 27 miles per gallon combined. That's much better mileage than I got out of that McLaren I was mentioning. In many ways, the i8 is easy to live with. The bright color instrument cluster gives you all the info you need on battery charge and energy usage. It's got the latest BMW iDrive infotainment system with a touchscreen and support for Apple CarPlay. And with the top down, you can even slide up the power wind blocker to keep your hair from getting too tousled. However, as much as I like the i8, there are a few things about it that just drive me crazy. For starters, the window glass doesn't go all the way into the doors, which looks odd when driving topless. Getting in and out is a literal pain in the ass when you have to slide over the big door sills. The ride is annoyingly fidgety at all times, no thanks to the big 20-inch wheels. And the buttresses that look so cool from the outside generate massive blind spots for the inside. And no, blind spot monitoring is not available. And then there's the price, $164,000 before options, which is about a $16,000 premium over the i8 Coupe. For that sort of money, you could buy something like a Porsche 911 GTS or any number of sportier, higher performing cars. But that's not really the point. The i8 is special because it's a look forward into the future of performance cars. It's not necessarily the best performing sports car, the most thrilling convertible, or the most efficient plug-in hybrid I've ever driven, but it is an impressive demonstration of BMW's best and most innovative forward-looking technology. With strong performance, bold styling, and zero emissions driving, the BMW i8 is kind of the best of all worlds. There's no other car like it right now. And that's a big part of why I'm as excited about the i8 today as I was when I first laid eyes on the concept 7 years ago.